Welcome to MediaBistro.com's web video series, Media Beat. I'm Danya Blaze, senior editor, and I am so happy today because we have Andy Cohen from Bravo here. Andy, welcome.
Welcome to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. I feel, full disclosure,
yes.
I watch way too much Bravo programming.
There's no such thing as watching way too much. You're watching just the right amount.
So you started, I read that you actually wanted to be on air first and then kind of took a little detour into the behind-the-scenes stuff.
That's
Tell
true.
us how
Well,
that
I'm a strong believer in internships as a way to begin any career, and certainly in the media. And I had my last internship was at CBS News in New York, and I was at the morning show, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. I want to be here. I want to, and I don't want to move to, the middle of the country and start in a small market and, work my way up. I didn't want to waste any time. I want to get straight to New York. So I did, and I worked at CBS News for 10 years behind the scenes, and then at Trio, which was a small cable channel, for 4 years, and then that brought me to Bravo, where I've been for 6 years. And the fact that just crazily I've been working on the air for over the last few years has just been the cherry on the top of a really fun day job.
So what's a typical day for you like? Because you're in charge of development, so it's your job to come up with the new shows and
development and production, basically. And so those are two departments that I look after with an amazing team at Bravo. And so there is no typical day. It's a lot of pitch meetings. It is sometimes visits to sets, casting, screening a ton of rough cuts, and just going to see my people.
And now that you're out, you've put yourself out there with Watch What Happens Live. What's that been like? Because I've looked at your blogs and how you answer viewer mail, and people are really mean sometimes.
People are mean. It's fun. I mean, it's good to have. I mean, I've developed a thick skin. But it's nice for people to tell me how cross-eyed I am, or whatever they want to say. But it's cool. Watch What Happens Live is a truly interactive show. We are fueled, as all of our reunion shows are as well, by viewer feedback and questions, and people are calling in and tweeting. And Bravo has, I think, one of the most engaged audiences on cable, according to studies. And so if they're engaged enough to not only want to tell me what they think of our housewives and our chefs and our designers, it's totally groovy with me if they want to tell me what they think of me. And sometimes it's nice and sometimes it's not, and that's par for the course.
And you, as you said earlier, when you're not on the air, you're trying to figure out what the next new show is going to be. And I'm sure people are pitching you ideas all the time.
Yes, that is true. So, yes, and by the way, that is 90% of my life. I mean, this is the on-air stuff in the reunion shows is like, it's a side thing. I would
is there
say.
any show that you passed on that went on to another network that you wished you had gotten, or an idea you saw somewhere where you thought, I wish I got that one?
No, when I was at Trio, I was pitched Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, which was one of the best pitches I've ever gotten. And we just didn't have the money, frankly, to say, the bidding was going to be intense. And so Bravo outbid Trio for that. We were never seriously in the running. But that was one that at the time, it was so obviously going to be a game changer for whoever landed that show, because it was such a great pitch. But, I'm so proud, and I've been talking to our development team about this over the last couple months. We've actually passed on like 5 shows that have wound up on other channels and failed. So I'm actually really excited.
Which ones? Tell us.
I'm not going to say that, but I'm really excited. And they were shows that we really considered and thought, wow, this could work for us, or we're not. So I'm so glad that after a lot of debate, they wound up not doing well on other channels. But trust me, I'm sure there'll be one soon that we pass on that winds up being like the biggest hit ever. So, I don't want to gloat about that.
And I'm sure there are a lot of people who sit at home who say, hey, I could do that. I could just watch, Real Housewives and come up with new ideas. What advice would you give to someone who wants to work in TV development and do what you do?
Oh, wow. Well, I think it's about knowing the brands that you're either pitching to or producing for. I think a lot of people think, I would make, not me, or they think to themselves, oh my God, my life or whatever would be a great reality show. And I think that you really have to look at everything that's out there and where the bar is, and what would be different about what you're pitching or bringing to someone. What is, is there something about it that's going to change the game? Is there something that you're saying that no one else is saying? And just having it be definitional and making sure it's on brand for whoever you're bringing it to.
Okay. Coming up in segment 2, Andy, I want to talk about Bravo shows.
Excellent.
Which I watch all the time.
My favorite topic.
This will be easy. Stay tuned. Part 2 with Andy Cohen, Senior VP of Programming and Development at Bravo, is coming up next on Me.